There are moments in life when we feel an unmistakable stirring within, a sense that something profound is about to unfold. A whisper, faint at first, but growing louder with each passing day, calls us to attention. It's a divine nudge, a celestial invitation to wake up and listen, a call that reaches beyond the veil of our everyday concerns. If you've ever felt this stirring, as if a force greater than you is trying to lead you towards something unseen but essential, then you are not alone. Heaven is speaking to you now, urging you to pay attention, to look beyond what is visible, and to uncover what has long been hidden. In particular, this message speaks directly to you, the one whose life has been marked by a bond with a mother whose presence shaped your earliest days. Whether your relationship with her has been full of love or fraught with pain, there is a deeper truth at play that you have yet to fully understand. Your mother, the one whose hands rocked you to sleep, whose voice soothed your cries, carries within her a story that hasn't yet been fully revealed to you. This story isn't just hers. It's a thread woven into your own. And the truth that is buried beneath years of silence, misunderstanding, or even unspoken pain is now rising to the surface. But this unveiling isn't meant to hurt or to bring condemnation. No, it is a divine unmasking, a gift of clarity that God is offering to you. It's not to punish, but to heal. The truth that lies in the shadows will soon stand in the light, and it is in that light that restoration begins. The healing that you've been yearning for, the answers to the questions that have quietly plagued your heart, are within reach. Yet, before you can truly begin your healing, you must first uncover the hidden truths that have shaped your life. Truths that have been quietly buried in the silent places of your past, in the quiet chambers of your mother's heart. You see, every wound carries with it the potential for deep restoration. But it is only when we face the truth, no matter how difficult or uncomfortable, that healing truly begins. And today, heaven is inviting you to stand in the light of that truth, to open your heart to the revelations that will come, even if they shake you to the core. The truth is, you cannot move forward into the fullness of who you are meant to be until you understand what has been concealed. Your past, your mother's past, the patterns that have followed you both. These are not meant to be left in darkness. The light is coming. So, I invite you now to open your heart, to release any fear of what might be uncovered, and to trust that the process of revelation is sacred. Trust that the truths about your mother, about yourself, and about the forces that have shaped your lives are not just random circumstances. No, they are part of a divine plan that is leading you toward freedom. The journey you are about to take may feel heavy at times, but know that it is the kind of weight that brings about transformation. The healing you seek, the freedom you've longed for will come through understanding, but first, you must see with new eyes, hear with a new heart, and be willing to face the truths that lie beneath the surface. So, step into this moment. Embrace the journey ahead, knowing that what you uncover will not only set you free, but will also open the door to the restoration of your soul. The time for healing is now, and heaven is reaching out to you, asking you to trust that this divine unveiling is the first step toward the life you were always meant to live. There are moments in life when the ordinary fades into the background, and the extraordinary steps forward, demanding our attention. It is as though the air around us thickens, charged with a message too urgent to ignore. If you have ever sensed the weight of a moment, a divine heaviness, pulling at your spirit, urging you to pay attention, then you know that this call is not random. It is not coincidence. It is the divine realm reaching into your life with purpose, compelling you to listen, to hear what heaven is speaking to your heart. This is no ordinary whisper. The message coming from the heavens is urgent, and it has been steadily growing louder, pressing closer to your spirit. With every passing day, it is the sound of truth, rising like the first rays of dawn after a long, oppressive night, just as the sun's light reveals what was once hidden in shadow. So too is a truth being uncovered in your life. a truth that has been veiled for far too long, waiting for the moment when the world and you were ready to receive it. This truth, though it may stir discomfort, is a gift from heaven. It's the key to your freedom, to your understanding, to your restoration. As the scripture reminds us in Luke 8:17, "For nothing is hidden that will not be disclosed, nor anything secret that will not become known. The time has come, the veil is lifting, and with it, a flood of clarity is rushing forward to illuminate the corners of your soul that have long remained in darkness. What was once concealed, hidden beneath years of silence, misunderstanding, and even fear is now being brought into the light, not to condemn, but to heal. The heavens have long known the weight of this truth, and they have been waiting for the precise moment to reveal it to you. This message, this call from the divine, is not something that can be ignored. It is not a casual remark that can be brushed aside. No, this is the sacred moment where your heart is being called into alignment with heaven's truth. There is a divine purpose behind every truth that is rising, a purpose that extends beyond your understanding, but one that will lead you into greater freedom and clarity. It is not just about uncovering the past. It is about releasing the chains that have bound you, the misunderstandings that have clouded your spirit, and the fears that have kept you from stepping fully into who you were meant to be. In this divine moment, heaven is offering you the chance to look deeper, to look into the heart of your story, your mother's story, and your shared journey. The call is for you to understand that what you have experienced, what has shaped your life, is all part of a larger tapestry that is now being revealed in its full beauty. The hidden things that once seemed too painful to face are now stepping into the light, not to cause more hurt, but to bring healing. The divine message being delivered to you today is one of liberation. It is a call to see the truth with new eyes, to hear the whispers of heaven with a spirit attuned to its guidance, and to understand that in this moment, you are being prepared for something far greater than you've yet realized. So, do not resist this call. Do not shrink away from the truth that is coming to you. This is not a moment of punishment or exposure. This is a moment of grace and revelation. Heaven is revealing what has been hidden so that you may walk forward in freedom, clarity, and divine purpose. The truth rising from the depths is not meant to overwhelm you, but to empower you, to remind you that nothing is ever truly lost in the eyes of the Almighty. What has been buried will be brought to the surface for a reason to heal, to restore, and to set you free. The call from heaven is here, and it is your moment to step into the light of divine truth. There is a truth buried deep beneath the surface of your life that you may not yet fully comprehend, a truth that speaks not just to the surface-level interactions you have had with your mother, but to the deeper currents that have shaped both her life and yours. From the very beginning, your relationship with her has been bound in ways beyond your understanding. The touch of her hands, the sound of her voice, the quiet moments shared in a space you both once inhabited, these were all more than just daily routines. They were threads in a tapestry woven with struggles, silent burdens, and unspoken fears. A tapestry that tells a story much larger than you have yet realized. Your mother, the woman who carried you within her, who nurtured you with her body, who loved you in the only way she knew how, holds a story within her heart that you may never have fully known, a story that is not simply defined by the experiences you've shared, the love you've exchanged, or even the struggles you've faced together. Her story runs deeper. It is a story shaped by her own wounds, her own past, and the unseen battles she fought long before you ever came into the picture. It is a story marked by moments of pain and beauty, of triumph and defeat, of courage and fear, and while her story may have remained hidden in the quiet spaces of her soul, it is time for that story to be revealed. Not to judge or condemn, but to heal and restore. To understand the full impact of her story, you must first look beyond the surface, beyond the mother who seemed strong at times, fragile at others, and sometimes, perhaps, even distant. you must look into the depths of her own history, the unhealed places that shaped the woman who became your mother. These places were not always visible to you, but they were there, shaping her decisions, her words, her actions, and sometimes, her silence. In her own life, your mother faced struggles that you may never have been aware of. She carried fears that perhaps were never spoken aloud, fears that her own mother could not heal, and fears that no one ever helped her confront. She endured pains, emotional and spiritual wounds, that were inflicted upon her long before she could pass them on to you. These were not just passing moments of hardship. They were deep, formative experiences that etched themselves into her very soul. Whether they came from childhood trauma, broken relationships, or the weight of expectations placed upon her, these struggles shaped her in ways that you may never fully grasp. But their echoes lived on in her and in you. What you may not realize is that your mother's wounds, her fears, her struggles, they have had an undeniable effect on your own life. Perhaps you see traces of her pain in the ways you've responded to life, in the patterns you've unknowingly repeated, or in the burdens you've carried without fully understanding why. These are the marks of an inherited story, a story that stretches beyond just the two of you. It is a generational story, a thread that has passed down through the lines of time, each generation carrying a piece of the puzzle that is only now beginning to come together. But here is the thing. God's intention in bringing this truth to light is not to expose for the sake of exposure. This unveiling is not about placing blame or focusing on past mistakes. No. This is a sacred revelation, meant to heal what has been hidden for far too long. It is a divine uncovering, designed not to harm, but to restore. As the prophet Isaiah declared in Isaiah 58:8, "Then your light will break forth like the dawn, and your healing will quickly appear." The Lord is allowing these hidden truths to surface, not to punish your mother, nor to condemn her for the wounds she has carried, but to heal the wounds that have shaped her heart, and in turn, have shaped yours. This is not about laying fault at anyone's feet. This is about lifting the weight that has been carried silently, the weight that was never meant to be carried alone. Your mother, like you, is human, flawed, broken, and in need of restoration. And while it may be difficult to fully grasp the scope of her pain, heaven has been watching over her. And now, with divine timing, the healing she has long needed is being offered to both of you. Consider this: the way she responded to you, the way she loved you, the way she parented you. It wasn't done in a vacuum. She was influenced by the invisible forces of her own story, the wounds she inherited, the fears she carried, and the burdens she bore in silence. It is so easy to focus on the things she didn't give you, the affection, the words, the actions that you so deeply craved. But what if you could understand that her inability to give you those things wasn't because she didn't love you? What if it was because, in so many ways, she had never fully received them herself? What if her silence wasn't neglect, but a reflection of the silence she had been taught to live in? What if her distant moments were not a lack of love, but a result of the deep emotional exhaustion she felt from carrying wounds she could never fully express? What if the very things that you thought were her weaknesses were actually her battle scars, signs of a woman who fought battles in the quiet of her soul, trying to survive and protect, not just herself, but you as well? God is revealing these truths now, not to unearth the past for the sake of blame, but to heal what was broken. The divine revelation that is coming to you is a gift of restoration. It is God's way of saying, "I see the pain that has shaped your life, and I am ready to heal it." God is showing you the truth so that healing can begin both for you and for your mother. For when one is healed, the other is healed as well. This is the beauty of divine restoration. It doesn't stop with one person. It flows through generations, healing brokenness that has spanned years, even decades. You may have felt the weight of your mother's struggles in your own heart. Perhaps you've carried her burdens in silence, unaware of how deeply her pain affected you. You may have wondered why you sometimes felt the sting of rejection, the absence of love, or the echo of pain in your relationship with her. But now, as these hidden truths begin to surface, you will come to realize that those wounds were not yours alone. They were part of a larger story. A story that stretches beyond your own life and is rooted in the struggles of your mother. The time has come for healing to flow. And that healing begins with understanding. It begins with recognizing that your mother, like you, is a child of God, deeply loved, deeply valued, and deserving of the same grace that you have received. Her pain doesn't have to define her anymore. It doesn't have to define you either. In the light of God's love and truth, both of your stories are being rewritten. What was once hidden in shame is now being exposed for the sake of restoration. And what was once broken is now being made whole. This is not just about understanding your mother's past. It is about understanding that you, too, are part of that story. You are not separate from the pain she carried, nor are you separate from the healing that she needs. Your healing is tied to hers. And as God brings clarity to your heart, He is also bringing clarity to hers. As the wounds are revealed, they are no longer defined by shame or regret. They are defined by the love of God, who sees every broken part and is working to make it whole. The hidden truth about your mother is not just about understanding her past. It is about understanding that her story is deeply intertwined with yours. It is about realizing that the pain she carried and the wounds she never healed have been passed down to you, not to burden you, but to be part of the process of divine restoration. The truth is rising now, not to destroy, but to rebuild. What has been hidden is being brought into the light, not for judgment, but for healing. And through this divine unveiling, both you and your mother will find the freedom, the love, and the restoration that you have longed for. There are forces at work in your life that are far beyond the realm of what the eye can see and the mind can comprehend. You may have felt them in the quiet moments, in the tension between you and those closest to you, especially your mother. These forces, though unseen, have shaped much of the course of your relationship. They are spiritual in nature, and their influence spans far beyond your own lifetime, reaching back through generations, intertwining your story with that of your ancestors, and even impacting the course of your future. In our world, there is a constant spiritual battle taking place. It is not one fought with swords or shields, but with the very hearts and minds of those who walk this earth. The forces of light and darkness, of good and evil, are at war, and they do not fight for abstract concepts. No. These spiritual battles are fought over the deepest and most intimate aspects of your life, your relationships, your identity, your destiny, and one of the most sacred and complex of these relationships is the one you share with your mother. You may have felt it in the moments when tension rose for no apparent reason, when misunderstandings swelled up like an uncontrollable tide, or when communication seemed to falter despite your best efforts. At times, it may have seemed as if something invisible was standing between you, a force beyond your mother's words, beyond your own reactions, beyond the simple misunderstandings that came and went. But this force is real, it is spiritual in nature, and it has been quietly, and sometimes not so quietly, influencing the way you relate to your mother, and in turn, the way you have both navigated the storms of life. You see, it's not just your relationship with her that is impacted by these unseen forces. It is also the relationship she has had with her own past, with the wounds she carries, and with the burdens she has never been able to fully release. These pressures, these spiritual influences, have been shaping her life long before you ever arrived on the scene, and they have had a significant impact on the way she was able to care for you, love you, and sometimes even protect you. Perhaps your mother seemed distant at times, as if she were in the room but not fully present. Maybe you noticed moments where her words were sharp, her responses cold, or her love withdrawn. It may have felt as though there was something in her heart that she couldn't give, something she wanted to share but couldn't quite reach. something she wanted to say but was too afraid to speak. These moments of distance were not random. They were often the result of the hidden pressures of the spiritual battle she was fighting within herself. Forces that had been quietly warring for her peace, her heart, and ultimately, her ability to love you as she so deeply wanted to. It is easy to believe that these pressures are merely a result of her own shortcomings, her struggles, or her mistakes. But the truth is, these pressures often come from spiritual forces, far larger than our individual understanding. Behind every painful moment, every silence, every word left unsaid, there may be unseen forces attempting to manipulate, confuse, and keep your relationship in bondage. These forces, often sowed through generational patterns, have woven themselves into the very fabric of your family's history. They have shaped the way your mother reacted to the challenges she faced, and the way you now navigate the same challenges. The generational nature of these spiritual influences cannot be overstated. The patterns you experience in your life and relationship with your mother are not always born of your own actions or choices. They are often passed down from generation to generation, carefully laid down like bricks in a wall that becomes higher and harder to climb with each passing year. These patterns, like threads woven into the tapestry of your family's history, continue to shape each new generation, even though their origins may be unknown or unspoken. What does this look like in practice? Consider the patterns of behavior that you may have noticed in your own life. Reactions, thought processes, fears, and struggles that seem to emerge out of nowhere. Do you sometimes feel that the same battles your mother fought are now the ones you are fighting? Are there repeated cycles of emotional turmoil, broken relationships, or unhealed wounds that echo through the generations? It is not coincidence. These patterns are the results of spiritual forces at work, subtly influencing your mother's life, and, in turn, your own. They are forces that manipulate our perceptions of love, worth, and identity, forcing us to carry burdens we were never meant to bear. Perhaps your mother carried silent griefs, unspoken fears, or unresolved conflicts from her own childhood, things that were never fully dealt with, never fully healed. These hidden burdens may have weighed her down in ways that you could not understand as a child, and even though you may not have known it at the time, those hidden wounds often found their way into your life as well. You may have unknowingly absorbed some of the same fears, the same pain, the same insecurities that shaped her, leaving you to carry a burden that was never meant to be yours. What's more, these generational influences don't simply affect your relationship with your mother. They impact the trajectory of your life and your future relationships. The forces at play are shaping the way you respond to challenges, the way you process emotions, and the way you form connections. They create patterns of behavior that repeat themselves in cycles, drawing you into the same struggles your mother endured and leaving you feeling trapped within them. This is where the spiritual battle becomes most evident. These generational patterns are not just the result of life's difficulties. They are part of a larger, unseen war being waged against your peace, your purpose, and your ability to live freely. There is an enemy who seeks to keep you trapped within these cycles, to keep you from breaking free and stepping into the fullness of who God created you to be. This enemy seeks to blind you to the spiritual reality of your struggles, making them seem like mere inconveniences or emotional setbacks, when, in truth, they are part of a much larger spiritual battle. But here is the good news. The battle is not in vain. While these spiritual forces have sought to keep you bound, to distort the relationship between you and your mother, to pass down cycles of pain and confusion, heaven is moving in a way that you may not yet fully see. God, in His infinite wisdom, has already seen the battle, has already won the victory, and is now calling you to rise above these patterns and break free. His purpose is not just to reveal the spiritual forces at play, but to equip you with the tools to overcome them. You are not destined to live in the shadow of these generational cycles. You are not condemned to repeat the mistakes of the past. The truth is that God's power is greater than any spiritual influence that has shaped your life. He has equipped you to break free from these cycles and to reclaim your destiny. The forces that once seemed so powerful, so all-consuming, are being exposed for what they truly are, lies that have held you in bondage, in the same way that God called the Israelites out of Egypt, out of the bondage of generational slavery. He is now calling you out of the spiritual forces that have bound you. He is leading you into freedom, not just for yourself, but for your entire family line. The spiritual battle is real. But so is the victory. The patterns that have shaped your relationship with your mother and have shaped your own journey are being undone, as God exposes the lies and replaces them with His truth. You are not alone in this battle. The unseen forces that have worked to divide, to confuse, to destroy are being overcome by the power of God. And as you step into that power, as you embrace the truth of His victory, you will begin to see those patterns shift, that tension ease, and that generational burden lift. This is not just about healing your relationship with your mother. This is about breaking the chains that have bound your family for generations and stepping into a new story, a story of freedom, healing, and restoration. The spiritual battle is fierce, but the victory is assured. God's truth is more powerful than any unseen force, and He is calling you to rise above the patterns of the past and to claim the freedom that is your inheritance. The forces that have shaped your life will no longer hold sway over your future. It is time for a new beginning. It is time for the chains to break. It is time for healing to flow freely through you and through your family. Healing is often misunderstood. We tend to think of it as something straightforward, something that happens when wounds are dressed, when scars fade, and when pain dissipates. But divine healing is not simply a matter of treating symptoms or fixing what is broken in the way we think it should be. Healing, as God intends it, transcends human understanding. It is not a quick fix, a simple remedy, or a clean, linear process. It is a sacred journey, unfolding in ways that may feel disorienting, uncomfortable, and even painful at times. Yet, within this complexity lies a profound transformation, one that is divinely orchestrated to bring about deep restoration, not just in the body, but in the spirit. When we speak of divine healing, we are talking about something far beyond the limits of human comprehension. In Psalm 147:3, the psalmist declares, "He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds." This is not just a poetic expression, but a deep, spiritual truth. God's healing does not merely address the surface-level wounds. It reaches into the very heart, into the places that have been shattered by life's experiences, and it restores what has been lost. This healing goes to the core of our being, into the parts of us that we often hide, ignore, or even deny. It's a process that touches every aspect of who we are, renewing our mind, body, and spirit in ways that nothing else can. You see, divine healing is not just about erasing the past or forgetting what has been done to us. It is about understanding that God does not heal in order to remove our past, but to redeem it. The struggles, the pain, the wounds you have carried are not erased in an instant. Rather, God's healing invites you to face them, truly face them, and to see them with His eyes. He asks you not to push away your history, but to embrace it with a new perspective, knowing that He has the power to bring something sacred out of even the most painful experiences. In your journey of healing, especially as it relates to your mother, this truth becomes paramount. Healing does not require you to reject her, to distance yourself from her, or to invalidate her experiences. No, healing calls you to something far deeper. It invites you to understand her struggles, her fears, and her pain in a way that opens the door for restoration. It is not about placing blame or pointing fingers at what she did or did not do. It is about recognizing the humanity in her, the same humanity that exists within you, and seeing her wounds with compassion. Understanding her struggles allows you to see beyond the surface, beyond the moments of frustration, hurt, or disappointment that have colored your relationship. Perhaps, for much of your life, You have seen your mother through a lens clouded by your own pain and unmet needs. It is easy to become frustrated with a mother who seems distant, confused, or even absent in ways that have hurt you deeply. It is easy to hold on to the anger that grows from unspoken expectations and unmet desires. Yet, as you journey deeper into the process of healing, you are being invited to look at your mother through a new lens, a lens of grace, understanding, and compassion. As you seek to understand her past, you will begin to see how her struggles, her fears, and the wounds she carried shaped the way she interacted with you and the world around her. And in this understanding, a new form of healing will take root. Your mother, like you, is a product of her own experiences, her own pain, and her own battles. She, too, was shaped by the circumstances of her upbringing, by the wounds she carried from her own parents, and by the unseen forces that influenced her life. Perhaps she, too, struggled with the weight of unmet expectations, the fear of rejection, or the shame of things that were never spoken. The love she gave you, however imperfect, was often filtered through the lens of her own brokenness. And just like you, she was doing the best she could with what she had, even if it wasn't always enough. In understanding this, you begin to see that her failures, her wounds, and even her silence were not intentional forms of neglect or harm. They were the effects of her own brokenness, brokenness that was never fully healed, brokenness that often went unspoken and unnoticed. Her struggles with her past, her fears about the future, and the pain she carried from generations before her, all played a role in shaping who she became as a mother. Healing, then, is not about distancing yourself from your mother or resenting her for the ways in which she couldn't meet your needs. It is about recognizing her humanity, her imperfections, and offering her the same grace that God offers to you. As you understand her past, you are invited to heal alongside her, to break the cycles of pain that have passed down through the generations. This healing is not about perfection. It is about restoration. It is about recognizing the brokenness in both yourself and your mother, and allowing that shared understanding to create a new path forward. Understanding your mother's past doesn't excuse the pain or hurt you may have experienced. It doesn't mean that everything she did was right, or that you should ignore the ways in which she may have failed to meet your emotional needs. It simply means that you acknowledge the context of her life, the unseen wounds, the deep struggles, and the hidden fears that shaped the way she parented, the way she loved, and the way she lived. In doing so, you create space for compassion to take root in your heart, and it is this compassion that becomes the fertile ground for healing to flourish. As you move through this process of healing, you begin to see that understanding her past is not just about understanding her. It is also about understanding yourself. The more you understand your mother's struggles, the more you understand the ways in which you have been shaped by them, the patterns of behavior, the emotional reactions, the struggles you face. Many of them are echoes of the struggles she faced. The same wounds that were inflicted upon her are the wounds you may be carrying today. But here is the key. Healing is a process that allows you to break those cycles. It gives you the power to rewrite the narrative, to shift the course of your story, and to allow God's grace to transform the broken places within you. Personal growth comes when you stop seeing your relationship with your mother as something you need to fix, and instead see it as something you need to heal. This shift in perspective allows you to approach your relationship with her not through the lens of judgment, but through the lens of love and understanding. It allows you to offer her the same compassion and grace that God has offered to you. In this process, you will find that the wounds you've carried for so long begin to heal, not because they are forgotten, but because they are being redeemed. Healing also leads to spiritual renewal. As you allow God to reveal the broken places in your relationship with your mother, you will begin to experience a deeper connection with Him. Your relationship with your mother is not isolated from your relationship with God. The love, grace, and understanding you extend to her will deepen your understanding of God's love for you. And as you embrace healing, you will begin to experience the renewal of your own spirit. A spirit that once felt weighed down by unresolved hurts, but is now being lifted and restored by God's truth. The process of healing, then, is not just about mending the relationship with your mother. It is about mending your own heart, your own soul, and your connection to the divine. When you allow understanding to take root, when you embrace compassion instead of resentment, when you open your heart to the restoration God is offering you, this is when true healing begins. It is when you allow God to redeem the past, to heal the brokenness, and to transform the wounds into places of grace and growth. And in this divine restoration, you will find that not only will your relationship with your mother be healed, but your spirit will be renewed in ways you never thought possible. The process of healing, then, becomes the very pathway to a new, more abundant life in Christ. There comes a moment in every soul's journey when the weight of the past becomes too heavy to carry any longer. It is the point at which we can no longer ignore the chains that bind us, the internalized trauma that continues to affect the way we live, the way we love, and the way we see ourselves. These unseen chains woven from past experiences, unspoken pain, and generational cycles hold us captive in ways we often fail to fully recognize. They keep us stuck, tethered to the past, unable to move forward and embrace the fullness of the life God has promised us. For many of us, this bondage is not a matter of physical chains. It is a deeper, more insidious form of captivity, emotional and spiritual chains that wrap themselves around our hearts and minds, preventing us from stepping into the freedom that was always meant for us. These chains are formed from the scars of our past, especially the unhealed wounds passed down from our mothers, our fathers, and the generations before them. We carry their pain, their trauma, their unresolved struggles, and, without even realizing it, we let it define who we are and how we live. The emotional bonds we carry are often shaped by experiences that were never fully processed. These could be moments of neglect, abandonment, rejection, or unspoken fears that lingered in the atmosphere around us. Perhaps we were not fully nurtured. Perhaps we were left to navigate difficult emotions without the support we needed. Whatever the case, the trauma of those moments is stored in our very beings, woven into the fabric of our identity, affecting the way we think, act, and interact with the world. But here's the powerful truth. You do not have to remain in this bondage. You are not defined by the pain you've inherited. You are not bound by the wounds of the past, nor are you forced to live under the weight of emotional and spiritual chains that were never meant to bind you. God has already made a way for you to break free. The key to this freedom lies in recognizing the bonds, understanding their power over you, and making the conscious decision to release them. The Apostle Paul's words in Galatians 5:1 remind us of this divine truth. It is for freedom that Christ has set us free. Stand firm, then, and do not let yourselves be burdened again by a yoke of slavery. You have been called to live in freedom, to walk in the liberty that Christ has already provided for you. But this freedom is not something that simply happens without intention or effort. It is something that requires you to stand firm, to refuse to be enslaved by the emotional bonds and spiritual influences that have kept you stuck. It requires you to actively choose freedom. The first step in this process is acknowledging the emotional bonds that have held you captive. These bonds are often invisible, yet they have a profound impact on the way you experience life. They show up in the patterns of your relationships, in the way you respond to conflict, in the fears that rise up when you are faced with love, or in the ways you sabotage your own success. These bonds often mimic the unresolved trauma of those who came before you, but they are not your identity. They are not the truth of who you are. They are simply remnants of the past, leftovers of pain that have no place in the life you are called to live. Recognizing these emotional bonds is the first act of liberation. Once you see them for what they truly are, patterns that no longer serve you, beliefs that no longer hold truth, fears that were never yours to begin with, you can begin to release their hold on your life. Breaking free from this bondage does not mean denying your past. It does not mean pretending that the hurt you've endured hasn't shaped you in some way. It means choosing not to let that past define your future. It means allowing God to come into those broken places and heal them with His love, His truth, and His grace. But as you embark on this journey of breaking free, it is vital to discern the spiritual influences that have been at play. These emotional and spiritual bonds are not just the result of human experience, they are also the product of spiritual forces that seek to keep you trapped in a cycle of shame, fear, and pain. These forces often work subtly, whispering lies into your heart, convincing you that you are unworthy, that you are defined by the pain of your past, and that you are incapable of change. They tell you that the trauma you've experienced will always be a part of you, that you will always carry the weight of your mother's struggles and the pain of your family's history. These spiritual influences can be powerful, but they are not invincible. The enemy's plan is to keep you bound, to keep you from stepping into the fullness of who you are meant to be. But the truth of God's word is clear. You are not defined by the enemy's lies, and you are not bound by the chains of your past. Christ came to set you free from those spiritual forces, to deliver you from every lie, every accusation, and every spiritual influence that seeks to hold you back. The chains of trauma, the lies of fear, and the oppressive forces of shame are broken in His name. In this process of breaking free, one of the most powerful lies to overcome is survivor's guilt. The belief that you are somehow responsible for the pain others have endured, or that your own healing would somehow dishonor the struggles of those who came before you. It is easy to feel as though breaking free from the emotional and spiritual bondage of the past means abandoning or rejecting the people who have been part of your journey, especially your mother. You may feel guilty for wanting to heal, for wanting to move forward, when you know she, too, was hurt, too, struggled, and too, carried pain. But here is the truth. Your healing does not diminish her struggle. It does not invalidate the journey she has walked. Your freedom is not a betrayal of her pain. It is the fulfillment of God's plan for both of your lives. You were not meant to remain in the cycle of pain and fear that was passed down to you. You were meant to rise above it. God has created you to walk in victory. And as you break free from the emotional bonds of the past, you not only heal yourself, but you also become a witness to the possibility of healing for others. Letting go of survivor's guilt is a crucial step in this journey. It is about recognizing that your freedom is not a rejection of those who have struggled before you. It is a recognition that you, too, are part of God's redemptive story. The same grace that has set you free is available to those who came before you. And the freedom you walk in can become a testimony to others that they, too, can break free. By embracing your healing, you allow God's light to shine not only in your life, but also into the lives of those you love. As you release these emotional bonds and spiritual influences, you will begin to experience the weight of freedom. This freedom is not just a theoretical concept. It is a tangible experience. It is the ability to live without being controlled by the fears and lies of the past. It is the ability to walk in the fullness of your identity as a beloved child of God, free from the chains that once held you back. It is the power to choose peace, to choose love, to choose joy, even in the midst of circumstances that once would have caused you to retreat into fear or pain. Breaking free from bondage is not a one-time event. It is a process of continual growth and transformation. It requires you to consistently choose freedom over fear, love over bitterness, and truth over lies. It means daily recognizing the lies of the enemy and replacing them with the truth of who you are in Christ. It is a journey of healing that never truly ends, but one that takes you closer and closer to the person you were always meant to be. In the end, breaking free from the emotional and spiritual bondage of your past is not just about you. It is about breaking the cycles for the generations that follow. It is about declaring that the pain of the past will no longer define the future. And in this act of liberation, you not only heal yourself, but you also become a vessel of healing for others. Your freedom becomes their hope, and your life becomes a living testimony of the power of God to break every chain. So stand firm in the freedom Christ has given you. Do not let the yoke of bondage bind you any longer. The chains of emotional pain, spiritual oppression, and survivor's guilt are broken. You are free, and in that freedom, you will find the courage to walk boldly into the life God has prepared for you. There comes a moment in every journey, a pivotal point, where the past no longer holds power over your future. It's as if you stand at a threshold, looking ahead at the vast expanse of life waiting to unfold. With the chains that once bound you now lying behind you, this is the moment of freedom. This is the moment to step into a new identity, one that is not shaped by the past or by the pain of old wounds, but by the divine love and healing that God has freely offered you. The past no longer defines you. You are no longer a prisoner of your history. You are a child of God, formed for greatness, and your future is full of hope. The invitation before you is not merely to heal from what has wounded you, but to embrace the new life. God has prepared for you a life that is not held back by fear, regret, or the cycles of pain that once seemed inescapable. You are called to step into freedom, to claim the full inheritance of peace, joy, and purpose that has been set aside for you. The life that lies ahead is one of divine transformation, where you no longer carry the weight of your mother's pain or the burdens of your past, but where you walk in the healing and love that have been freely given to you. As you step into this new life, one of the most transformative acts you can take is forgiveness. Forgiveness is the key that unlocks the door to peace. It is not about excusing or forgetting the pain you've endured, but about choosing to release the power that past hurts have over you. It's about letting go of the anger, the bitterness, the resentment that once held you captive, and instead choosing to walk in the freedom that forgiveness offers. In Ephesians 4:32, we are reminded, "Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ God forgave you." Forgiveness is not just a one-time act. It is a continual choice. It's a decision to release the weight of past wrongs, to free yourself from the emotional and spiritual shackles that have kept you bound. This act of forgiveness is what breaks the cycle of pain and opens the door to peace. The moment you choose to forgive, you begin to heal in a way that only God can orchestrate. It doesn't mean forgetting the past or allowing yourself to be hurt again. It means freeing your heart from the hold that anger and hurt have had on it. It's a process of surrender, a choice to trust that God will heal the wounds you've carried and that He will bring justice where it is needed. In the midst of this process, you are also called to reparent yourself. Not in the sense of neglecting your mother or rejecting her role in your life, but in embracing the love and care that God offers to you as a father. He is the one who sees your deepest needs and will meet them with compassion, strength, and grace. To reparent yourself means to allow God's love to fill the gaps where human love may have faltered. It means allowing His voice to shape the way you see yourself, to define your worth, and to guide you toward the path of healing. Reparenting through God's love is a beautiful act of renewal. It is allowing yourself to be shaped by divine love rather than by the wounds of the past. It is choosing to live a life of compassion, where you not only extend grace to others, but also offer that same grace to yourself. It is about living in wholeness, understanding that you are deeply loved, deeply valued, and completely accepted by God. This journey of reparenting leads you into a life of strength that is not based on the ability to fight on your own, but on the deep-rooted knowledge that you are never alone. God is with you, guiding you, nurturing you, and empowering you every step of the way. As you embrace your new path, you find that you no longer need to rely on your own strength to navigate the challenges of life. Instead, you lean into His strength, knowing that He will sustain you and carry you through every trial. In embracing this new path, you are not just moving forward, you are walking into the fullness of your divine purpose. Every step you take in this freedom is a step toward becoming the person God created you to be, whole, healed, and powerful. You are no longer held by the chains of the past, You are walking in the light of God's love, and in that light, you will shine brighter than you ever thought possible. So, I invite you to take that first step today. Step into freedom. Embrace the new identity that God is offering you. Let go of the pain, the guilt, and the shame, and receive the fullness of His love and healing. Choose forgiveness as the key to unlocking peace in your life. Allow God to reparent you with His grace and love. And in that process, walk boldly in the strength, compassion, and wholeness that He has designed for you. You are free, and this new path is yours to walk. A path of healing, redemption, and divine purpose.